I'm a journalist covering the topic of these scooters.
Yeah, they suck.
They suck. Why do they suck?
Obviously, battery is an issue.
Okay. So is it dead now with the battery, or what's going on?
It's almost dead.
Almost dead.
That's why I actually need to bring it into a zone where I can park it.
Okay.
I'm so sorry that I can't talk to you.
No, it's okay. And are you aware of the fact that it's not allowed to ride it on the sidewalk or the pedestrian zones?
Well, it's probably local law. In Germany, you even have to have license plates, so you can only drive them on the streets. They don't have it here. I don't know what.
It's over here.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's why I was asking, because the police is finding the tourists, and the tourists are claiming that they don't know. So I was curious if you know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, enjoy and have a nice trip. Bye-bye. Yes, unfortunately, this is how trips of tourists that ride these e-scooters in the city of Prague sometimes end up. We're the honest guides, and let us give you an honest guide to electric scooters in a historical city like Prague is. The first case where we're showing you this crash was a guy that actually just crashed on his own by himself. And I believe the reason was that tourists from different cities than Prague are not used to tram tracks. They can be extremely slippery. So this guy was riding right here, and the minute he hit the tram tracks, he also hit the ground. Now, as a tourist on a Lime scooter, guess what? Yup, he was shit-faced drunk. This will be like a silver lining throughout the entire video. Drunk tourists hitting ground, people, and even something special. Anyhow, this guy was all bloody. He was taken to hospital. He was taken care of. I believe he was fined, but he didn't hurt anyone beside himself and the scooter, unlike the other guy. For the next idiot on a Lime scooter, we're gonna move from here to here. In this case, this Mameluk did not hurt himself, but he actually hit a fellow tourist. As he was riding up Wenceslas Square, a group of tourists got in his way. How did he solve it? He ran into them. And you guessed it right, he was drunk. I mean, it was a bright day, it wasn't even night, and he already had the alcohol level in his blood 0.2. I just Googled it. For a grown man like I am, that equals to 7 beers. After 7 beers, I don't think I'd be able to even rent the scooter and ride it. No wonder he hit someone. The next accident I actually filmed myself with a friend when we were driving nearby the famous disco place, and these two, I believe, girls once again hit the Prague reality, a tram track, and then they hit the hard Prague ground. Tram tracks plus gravity is a bitch. See where the car is coming our way? Well, some tourist saw that situation on a Lime scooter and thought to himself, well, that's the way I'm gonna go. And guess what? He actually hit the car. And yes, you guessed it, he was drunk. And the sherry on top, that was a police car. You just can't make it up. And one more sherry on top of this lovely cake of drunk tourists on scooters. This event with the police happened during a special police operation where they focused on tourists that are drunk on the Lime scooters. I mean, this guy couldn't make their job easier. And believe it or not, in our little competition, this guy who ran the cop car in a one-way street in the wrong direction was actually the least drunk. They only measured 0.9 alcohol blood level in his blood, which is something around like 2 beers. Listening to the police radio where the cops are saying, well, we try to stop him, that's why we flash the lights, and whoever is on the other side of the radio was like, wait, what? He hit you? In the opposite, like, okay. Now, I understand that watching drunk tourists who hit objects at speeds may be fun, but you know what is not fun? When you crash on a website that doesn't allow you to visit it because of geo-blocking. Well, luckily you can walk around it right through with the sponsor and partner of our video, which is SurfsharkVPN. Surfshark works across all the platforms, all devices, your computer, your cell phone. You just select which country you want virtually move your computer or your cell phone to, and once you're in that country virtually, suddenly you can visit whatever website, whatever streaming platform you desire. And believe it or not, me and Honza come across websites or streaming or videos or different things around the internet that are like, no, you can't see this because you're from whatever country you're from. And it's not only two of us using it, many of our viewers, including our family. By the way, you can use it on unlimited devices. So get Surfshark on surfshark.com/honestguide or use the link below the video to get 4 months extra for free from the Honest Guide. 24/7 helpline, money back guarantee. Thank you, Surfshark, for sponsoring us and partnering with us. And we're moving on with the topic. It's funny how these tourist trips on these scooters are not to get you from A to B fast. It's to roam the city. It's a tourist attraction. I mean, we just met those guys over there. They circled around the square, the market, and the theater to end up here. So we were faster walking than them riding. Yeah, can we ask you, we're YouTubers and we're filming about these Lime scooters. Do you find it interesting? Do you like them or no?
I think that the biggest problem that I find in my city in London is that it's not as well organised as here, where there's dedicated spaces for the scooters. So what I don't like is when they're just left on the street and they cause obstruction. But here I think they've got a pretty good system, same with Budapest.
Okay, so you like that they have a space to put them?
Yeah, Budapest I think also is a bit more cycling friendly, and that's helped because they had infrastructure already that kind of prepared them.
A great fella from London, and he admired the fact that we actually have designated spots for these scooters, unlike in London, he said. And he's going to, did he go straight? He went straight into the, yeah, he's gonna be trapped. And this is the topic that we talked about with Honza. People think that it's gonna be faster on the Lime scooter, but they don't know that there are certain parts where they cannot go. So the local knowledge is very important. He's going to a place that is 1 kilometer away. We know that walking through the buildings would take around 7 or 8 minutes. On the scooter, it's just gonna be a pain. Where are you guys from?
We're from the Netherlands.
Netherlands. We're doing a little show about the scooters and we're asking tourists how they like it, dislike it, what do you like, what do you dislike?
Jongens, kom mee in een interview.
We can just interview you, man.
Oh, all right.
So do you enjoy the trips on it?
Yeah, but I feel like I feel illegal.
You feel illegal?
Yeah, like when we're in a big traffic, it feels.
You mean on the road? On the roads.
Yeah, you can just you're supposed to go on the road. You can't go on the sidewalks. But it just feels so unnatural and dangerous. But
interesting.
Probably people here are used to it. But if I were living here, I would probably like sue the company or something.
Why would you sue the company?
No, not sue, but like start some kind of petition to get rid of them because it's really annoying. I think.
Interesting. And you're from Netherlands?
Yeah.
Where I suppose you ride a lot of.
You don't have these in the Netherlands.
You don't have these?
They're illegal.
They're illegal?
Yeah.
How is that so?
I have no clue.
You have no clue, but I suppose you have bicycles?
Yeah, we have bicycles. You can rent bicycles.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you think about that?
Well, that's why I'm partially interviewing you. I hate when tourists ride them on sidewalks.
Yeah.
That's why I like to get the knowledge from you, because what you said is interesting, that you feel illegal on the road.
Yeah. But the app has clear instructions on
Does it?
On not going on sidewalk. But of course people don't ever read the manual, so.
Yeah. Very nice to meet you. Which city you're from?
We're from Eindhoven.
Very interesting that, as the tourist from Netherlands said, he felt illegal on the road. And I understand this coming from someone from Netherlands, where not only you have a sidewalk, not only you have a road, but there's always a path for cyclists or scooters or whatever other small device to move you around. Not only us and the locals noticed that somebody should do something about tourists on scooters, the city police, and they, according to the article that I'm reading, started a traditional action or operation that they nicknamed the scooter. For us locals, it's as traditional as the old Prague chimney cake. And during one weekend, the city police discovered almost 1,000 misdemeanors or breaking violations of certain rules. And now, let's be fair. If you're a tourist in Prague and you rent one of these, the chances of you violating some rule are very, very high. I mean, it's not only one-way streets everywhere, the fact that you cannot ride on the sidewalk, the fact that cobblestone is everywhere, the fact that there's traffic signs you most likely do not understand because you're from another part of the world. You cannot ride in 2 people on the scooter, which is most cases we saw. And if you're under 18, you must wear a helmet. Good luck following all these rules. So people were fined, more than 1,000 fines were handed out, in total sum of more than 8,000 euros. But we do have a champion. I mean, different fines for different violations of the law, understandably, and there was one tourist who received a fine of 1,000 euros. How do I know? He sort of told us. We found a tourist on Reddit that last year visited Prague, and here's what he has to say. Hey guys, after some advice. I was in Prague in July for my birthday with a friend. We had a couple of beers in the evening and hired the Lime scooters to ride back to the hotel. I hit a tram line and came off the scooter, hitting my head and knocking myself unconscious. Police turned up and breath tested me, and I blew slightly over the limit. I honestly didn't think I would, but I did, so hands up. Was sent to hospital in an ambulance where the hospital treated me. Absolutely amazing hospital staff in Prague, can't thank them enough. I paid the hospital fees with my insurance and went home the next day to the UK. We're very happy you're fine. We're glad you liked our hospitals. They're very good. Our health insurance is perfect. Here's where it gets interesting for the tourists. 3 months later, today, I received a 6-page letter from the Prague town hall, all written in Czech. But using Google Translate worked out that they are fining me 25,000 Czech crowns. English, 1,000 euros. This guy adding to it, I don't even have this much money. The letter arrived but didn't even have the right address on it. I only received it because the postman knows me by my name. Will the Czech authorities chase me for this in the UK? I know I shouldn't have rode the scooter now, but at the time, I didn't think anything of it. Thanks for your help. Hopefully you'll get advice on if you should or shouldn't pay from people on Reddit. I will not try to be the advisor on this one, but I do hope that this case will be seen by a lot of people around the globe. If you ride drunk on the streets of a city where you're not a citizen and you hit yourself or someone else, you're not only going to face a fine, but potential more damage to someone else, which could result in more than just a fine. Imagine you hurt someone permanently. That can happen. You're riding a scooter at certain speeds. Do not drink and drive. I cannot believe we got to this point in this show where I'm saying such a basic stuff to people. Episode 755. If there's an open window in a skyscraper, please don't jump out. You can actually land on someone and hurt them. So yeah, if you get shit-faced drunk in a foreign city, don't rent an electric scooter. Go home and sleep, walk, or hail a cab. Don't hail a cab, walk. And the fine of 1,000 euros, well, believe it or not, the city hall can fine you for drunk driving on a scooter up to 2,000 euros. Which is, by the way, the only line that when I police and beg tourists riding in hordes on sidewalks, I usually tell them, guys, they can fine you up to 2,000 euros. There's a cop behind the corner. They're like, oh, thank you so much. If I ask them politely not to ride it on the sidewalk, they usually say, fuck off. Hey guys, can you not ride it? Fuck off. Hey guys, there's a cop, he's gonna fine you 2,000 euros behind the corner. Oh man, thank you so much for the info. Now, does it make sense in general to fine tourists for riding these scooters, even if we fine them 20 or 1,000 euros? I don't know, because they're most likely never coming back. Most of the tourists that come to Prague, it's their one and only visit. They are not coming back. And the tourists that do come back are usually not the kind of tourists that ride drunk on the Lime scooters in the city center of Prague. So in a nutshell, the fine doesn't really serve its purpose, because as most of the tourists that were stopped by the police during this operation, they say the same thing: we didn't know. On the other hand, it is surprising that the tourists don't know, because the city of Prague actually does a campaign where they're telling tourists. Let me explain. What is the campaign that the city is leading against drunk driving tourists on the Lime scooters, you're asking? Well, we found a quote by the city's mayor. I urge everyone to follow the rules. I kid you not. It says, the mayor of Prague, Bohuslav Svoboda, acknowledged that the problem with scooters is really bothering the city and its citizens for a very long time. I believe we will manage to solve it permanently. I urge everyone to strictly follow the rules. We also wanted to ask some Czechs, locals, on their opinion as they're riding the scooters. We didn't find a single one. I have to agree that the situation in Prague has rapidly improved. back in the days when these scooters first popped up, they were literally everywhere. Like there were parts where you just couldn't walk on a sidewalk, across a crosswalk. I mean, those scenarios still appear occasionally, but most of the scooters are parked in designated areas that the city set up for them. Once somebody takes them, of course, they can ride them on the sidewalk. Nobody can really prevent it, even though the company themselves, they can slow the scooter down, and they do it on, for example, the 14th century Gothical bridge where there's no entry for scooters. So if they know the scooter's there, why don't they stop it? They're basically telling you, oh, we know you're doing something illegal, so we're just gonna slow you down a little. Doesn't make any sense. But if there's one thing that really bothers me with these scooters, let me explain. These scooters have removable batteries. In other words, you can remove the battery, put it somewhere on charge, and then you put it back. And sometimes there is a guy on a different electric scooter who picks up the batteries, goes somewhere, charges them, and puts them back. But most of the times, what you see in Prague is a big old nasty truck where they load all the scooters, drive them somewhere, and then bring them back. And when I say old nasty truck, it usually is parked somewhere on the sidewalk because it's an old city center. It's not like there's unlimited amount of parking spots. So when I saw the guy in his truck or in his van that was started, you could really smell the old diesel. As he's loading these scooters on and off, charging them, I'll tell you how much he's paid for it. I was like, so that's the green micro-mobility that is being forced upon us from California? Well, no, thank you. And if you think, well, at least this company is giving job to people in your city, right? No, I asked one of the guys as he was offloading the scooters from his van in a pedestrian zone, I said, hey, is it at least a good deal? Like, do you get good pay? How much do you get paid per scooter for charging it? And he said 80 euro cents. So a tourist pays €1 just to unlock it, 50 cents a minute for riding or not riding it. And whoever charges it in the city gets 80 euro cents. That's outrageous. That's absolutely outrageous. I was looking up how much, and these people are called juicers, get in US. They get around $7 or $8 per scooter. Yes, they're slightly more expensive, but not that dramatically. And one more bullshit that I call on this company, if you're claiming to help micro-mobility in the city, why don't you act like the other companies? These two bicycles, locals can rent twice a day for free if they have the public transport pass. That kind of makes sense, right? You get somewhere on the public transport and the last mile you travel on the micro-mobility. For some reason, and I don't know the reason, your system is not in it. Therefore, again, and I've said this a billion times, you don't care about our environment, our city. All you care about is cash from tourists that usually ride drunk and hurt other people. I did reach out to the guy who runs Lime here. He didn't reply to me. I was gonna give them a chance to say something. We're a green company helping the environment. What do you mean you're a green company? Well, didn't you see the scooters? Oh, you didn't know? No, this company does not pay a single cent to the city of Prague for having thousands of scooters parked on the streets of Prague. Not a cent. Cool, huh? That's a good business idea. And if at this point you're tired of me crying about these scooters, I will stop the minute I know we get at least some money for the city from these scooters. I mean, if I'll see a tourist riding on the scooter and I'll know that he paid some money to the city, I'll be like, please, let me free the sidewalk for you. But if there's like $1 flying to California and 20 cents going to a guy with a parked van on the sidewalk, I'm like, come on. Are you aware of the fact that you cannot ride it on the sidewalk? No? We're filming about, we're journalists and we're filming about the Lime scooters. Yes. Did you know that you are not allowed to ride it on the sidewalk, or you didn't know?
We didn't know.
You didn't know?
No.
So when you, in the app, when you hit...
we just scan and...
You just scan and you go?
Yes.
Okay. Because we're filming about there's fines that tourists get, and we were curious if the tourists actually know that they shouldn't ride it. You don't get the message? Yeah, so it's like here it says, no sidewalk riding. Okay, just be careful because the police does give fines, that's what we're filming about. But
Thank you. It's with the bricks, that's the sidewalk, you have to ride in the street.
Yes, it's the Czech law. Look, I'm not a police officer. I'm just asking if you knew about it because we were filming that tourists were getting fines. Yeah. So we were curious if the tourists actually know it. That was my question. Okay, well, enjoy.
It's strange on the sidewalks because you can turn it off.
Yes, you can, but the company doesn't really care.
Yeah. So we have to.
Where are you from, guys?
Norway.
Norway. Enjoy Prague. Lovely to see you. Bye-bye.
Solo Lamborghini.
Yeah, how do you find these scooters?
You just sorry.
No. I mean, yeah.
Take a picture.
I mean, as in, like, how do you find the experience?
Oh.
Was it good?
It's good.
Yeah?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I like it.
Where are you from?
From Germany.
Germany.
Yes.
And if I may ask you, and this may sound offensive, but I don't want to be, why did you choose to park it here?
Because there are many.
Because there's many others.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Yes, I understand he parked it there. Whereas the other scooters, because all these 3 parking spaces that are designated for the scooters are currently taken over by a different company that rents tricycles for tourists. Can you see the desperation in our faces? One of the reasons we're getting back to the topic of these scooters is because there was news circulating this spring that these scooters will be banned. But the word you should look for in the title is may, and when the announcer announced it, she said maybe. Well, maybe not. There was a proposal to the city council, and the city council said no, only proving their absolute impotence to solve minor and micro issues that locals face in the city. I hate to put it like this, but that's exactly how it is. In the meantime, me and Honza will be hoping that none of our relatives or close friends will be hit by a drunk tourist on a Lime scooter, and you let us know how you move around the city. And I'm sure you use these, or maybe some of you in the city, so let us know if it's good when you follow all the rules, if it's doable, if it's pricey, if it's cheap, let us know. But keep in mind that if you do get, and you can as a tourist, get the monthly pass for public transport, which by the way costs 22 euros for a month, and it includes all of Prague's public transport. It will also get you these 2 lovely bicycles twice a day for free for 15 minutes. The pink one and this gray Next bike. I mean, that's a deal. Thank you very much. My regards to California, and I'll see you next week on another episode of The Honest Guide. Bye-bye. And in the end, let me teach you how to say riding on the sidewalk. That is jízda po chodníku. Jízda po chodníku, a ride or riding on the sidewalk.